So the first thing you want to do when you come to the light board is make sure that fader 10 is all the way up here. This playback number 2 is all the way up, and the Grandmaster is all the way up. From there, you'll probably see this menu, which is all the lights and their levels. But if you look at playback 2 and you double click that, sometimes it takes a little second, now you're going to see all the presets for the Sunday service. And the way to go through them, up and down, if you go chronologically through the service, is you go down here to the play and pause button. Play will move you forward through the service. Pause will go back and stop what's happening as well at the same time. So let's look here. Let me go all the way back up to pre-service. And you'll see right there, it's transitioning with a 3-second fade. Now we're at the pre-service lights. And if I want to switch to the next one, which is the video, so everything goes dark in the room, I'm going to hit that play button right here, and we'll click it, and then within 3 seconds, those lights fade out. I'm going to hit play again, which is now worship upbeat, so this is going to be a little brighter. But let's say you go through, now you're to this worship slow, which is a little darker, for more of like a more serious song before the service, before the sermon. Then say you need to go back to upbeat, you're gonna wanna press pause. Now watch what happens here. It goes back, but that transition doesn't happen. So you now hit play. Oops. There we go. And now it is fading in worship upbeat. So now we're back to this one. It's as easy as that. If you lose where you're at, or if you get back to, again, if you get back to this menu somehow, then you're gonna go to your fader, double click stack 2, and you can see all of your cues again in order. And that's it. Right, so when you're setting up for rehearsal or Sunday morning, first thing you wanna do is come to the stage box up here, and you're going to first turn on this thing, the VX400S, and you're gonna click the on button, and it'll do its thing, turn on, it says Nova Star, so you know on the right one. That's the video processor for our big LED screen. Then you're gonna use this Apple remote and turn on the Apple TV right there, and that is what projects to the main screen. And the last thing is you can take this paint stick, that's the best thing we have for right now, is you're gonna come up to the screen here, and right here there's a little slot, kind of hard to see, but in there is a switch. It's not a normal switch that sticks out of the wall, but it's one of those that's flat that can go up and down and swivel. So we're gonna aim the paint stick almost straight in, just barely at an angle. You're gonna hear a click. That's on, that's off. And the way to know if it's on is you're gonna see that cross light up as soon as you're done. Then let's head back to the computer here. Let me show you some more stuff. So when you come back to the computer here, you're gonna type in thanks with a capital T, @ and then all caps WBC. Thanks at WBC, okay? So let me close this out and we'll start over. You're gonna click on settings now. This is gonna connect the computer to the Apple TV, which right now is just showing Apple TV, but we want it to see ProPresenter. So we're gonna go into displays, hit the plus symbol, and we're gonna click home theater. And that is the name of the Apple TV. And then within about 5 seconds or so, it should mirror. There we go. Now, so when we go into ProPresenter, when you open it up, it should automatically start displaying, oops, what is here. If it doesn't, there we go, right? It should show the background, the words. If there are any issues, what you do is you go into Screens, Configure Screens, and then it'll have this pop-up window. What you want to do is just make sure that on the main screen, you select on the output Home Theater, the same one that we just went into the settings and changed, okay? If that's set, you should see it on the main screen. Okay, so I'm accessing this remotely, but it works the same if you're in person at the church. So you're gonna open ProPresenter, which is this orange app at the bottom. And when you open it, this is last week's, but I will update it for the current week. You're gonna see all of your items over here on the left for your order of service. So it starts off with the announcement loop, it has the countdown, it has the opening bumper video, and then it has the list of the songs. Everything that happens in the service order will be on the left here. And if you click on one, it'll jump you right to it and place it at the top of this middle section here. So when you go at the beginning of service and you want to start playing the announcements before service starts, you click on announcement loop and click one of those, and it'll start going in the rotation. And this will show you, oops, right here, this will show you what's happening up on the main screen if you don't want to look up there and just want to focus on the computer. And then from there, you would do the countdown before service starts. You would play that countdown. And then you would go into the video with, this week's was Daniel and Jake, but I think it's going to be different this Sunday. And then you just work your way through the whole order of service. So next would be the song. You'd first click the motion graphic there, and then using your arrow keys at church, you just go through, just keep going to the right, and you can just keep going through the lyrics. And everything's labeled in here. The verses, verse 1, choruses are red, bridges are purple, and you'll find that color scheme under every single song. Verses are blue, choruses are red, bridges are purple. And these should all be in the right order, just going straight top to bottom of each song. If you have issues, you can always manually click on a slide if they're out of order for some reason, but they shouldn't be. Then say you're going through a song and you get to the end of one, and you're on the ending slide of a song. You can either just keep hitting the arrow key a couple of times to the right, and then there we go. Then it'll activate the next song. Or if you get to the last slide, you may just want to click and fast forward that process. Click the first slide, then go back to using the arrow keys and shifting through those slides. Same thing when you get to a sermon. Pastor Matt will help you import it, but this is going to be the sermon here, and you just, again, click that first slide and look for the prompts. You'll get notes from Jake to go over everything and how he wants his slides used. We just go through them, and then the closing song. And then at the end of service, we do, usually on this last thing, post-service, there's a prayer slide that I'll put in there that you can go ahead and click on. And that's what you can leave up before or as people are leaving, and then start over again on the announcement loop about 10-15 minutes before the second service. So yeah, let me know if you have any more questions, but this is the basics.